Number 31 on our list is another backup quarterback who maybe will have a chance to shine. The team doesn't hope he has a chance to shine this year that he plays for.
That's
but
right.
Number 31?
Jacoby Brissett. Indianapolis Colts. I mean, one of the best backups in football. Really, I mean, as you see where I have him ranked, I mean, he's a fringe starter. You know, I think he's got a lot of starting quarterback traits as far as that is concerned. You know, first thing is, you know, being able to play in New England, you know he can pick up offenses, deal with things like that. So the mental aspect's good. To further that conversation, gosh, he got traded to the Indianapolis Colts and was thrusted into being the starting quarterback about 9 days after he got there. You want to talk about tough sledding. And then he did an unbelievable job executing that offense that year with Andrew Luck out. But the first thing with Jacoby Brissett, great size, really big, strong guy. And I know people are always going to say, well, what's that got to do with anything? Well, size is a skill. You know, when you're really big like that, you can kind of break arm tackles in the pocket and still throw the ball down the field. You can have people tagging, tugging at your shirt or your hips or whatever else, and you can still throw the ball 20 yards down the field. Yeah. Right. So he's very good that way. Sorry to mess up your shirt. So accurate throw of the football, good arm. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's one of the biggest arms in the football, but can certainly make every throw. He's a great deep ball thrower, throws the ball high, lets the receiver adjust to it. And then the last thing I think about Jacoby Brissett that I really think people sleep on, and people got to go back and watch the highlights of that year, he's a very good athlete. I mean, he really is. Sure. He's a dangerous runner. And really, what should further that too, if anybody remembers, the year Brady got suspended for 4 games, Garoppolo played 2. He got hurt. Jacoby Brissett had to play the third and fourth game. The third game when they played him, they basically ran like a quarterback, like almost a Lamar Jackson type of offense, and won the game with him having some quarterback runs and making some easy passes. So that talks to you what kind of athlete he is. But Jacoby Brissett is one of those guys. The Colts, they're smart to have that type of backup. They have a Super Bowl caliber team.
They don't want to get rid of him either.
No.
Chris Ballard, they've asked him about that. He says they have to be blown away to get rid of
No
Jacoby
doubt.
Brissett.
When you have that kind of team, why would you risk it? You know, they're a Super Bowl caliber team, like I told you with Andrew Luck. If he got hurt, okay, yes, maybe that hurts their chances, but I would still go, damn, they're still going to be a pain in the butt. Jacoby Brissett's a good player, still a playoff team. Okay. And if he got hot the right way, maybe he could do a Nick Foles type of thing. So I look at that, and I do think that there will be a market for him next year, maybe to be a bridge gap starter.
This should be his last year. His contract's up after this year. This should be his last year in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I would think so. And maybe that team that moves on from a quarterback next year and is thinking, oh, we're going to draft him. Maybe you sign a Jacoby Brissett for a 1 or a 2 year deal, and maybe he can prove himself to be a worthy starter and then continue to be a starter as his career goes along.
Yeah, the 2017 season with the Colts, I mean, that was not a very good team. They finished 4-11, still threw, over 3,000 yards, 13 touchdowns, 59% completion percentage, was sacked an AFC high 52 times. And
yes,
so they
and
didn't
that was one of the
protect
things that was not good for him that year. But when you don't know an offense and you're confused and you're learning on the fly, when in doubt, you just go, okay, let me just take the sack. I don't know where everybody is. I don't want to throw the ball away and get intentional grounding. I don't want to try to throw the ball away and fumble. So that was probably the worst thing about his year there, is he took too many sacks. But I don't think that would be the case if he was a little more comfortable with the situation.
So your 31 ranked quarterback in your top 40 quarterbacks, his numbers for last year, he was 2 for 4. With 2 yards passing. And his longest completion was 4 yards.
Ooh,
so he had his longest completion was longer than the total yards he ended up with that year. His first pass was a negative 2 yard pass to Chester Rogers.
Yeah.
So he ended the day with a negative yards pass.
Again, we can use all these arguments with all these things. And I know,
for sure.
I mean, on Twitter.
I just thought it was interesting.
No, I hear it. I'm glad you did it because it brings up other things that I can go off of too. Because I know on Twitter, and it's the number one thing, I go, oh, you're taking these guys over Eli Manning. You're taking Ryan Tannehill, over Eli Manning. You're taking Josh Rosen, Jacoby Brissett. Yes, I am. And again, I'm not sitting here trying to be a jerk to Eli Manning. But there's nothing physically he can do as good as they can do. The only thing he has over them is experience. And if you're not willing to throw the ball down the field and be aggressive or take hits in the pocket, experience isn't that great of an advantage. And those are the issues I would worry about right there. So, I think if you put these quarterbacks on the New York Giants teams the last 2 years, yes, the Giants are every bit as good, if not better, with all of them at quarterback over Eli Manning. So back off with that talk, okay? There is a reason the Giants have gone to the playoffs once in the last 6-7 years. I mean, they've been 2016, since they won the Super Bowl in 2011, They've been 1 year in 2016, and Eli was really average that year. I don't know what anybody's even talking about. I still can't even believe we're having this discussion at times. I really can't. It actually is, for the first time today, it's frustrating me.
I feel like it's making you angry.
Today is the first time it's actually frustrating me because I want to go, what is everybody looking at? What are you looking at? There's worse teams there's worse offensive lines in football. There's been plenty of quarterbacks with worse running backs and wide receivers and tight end play in football, but don't seem to get the excuses constantly that Eli Manning gets. It's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. Never. And I know I'm not the only one because I have people all around the NFL who constantly text me going, good for you. I don't get what everybody is in love with Eli. Somebody has to say it eventually. So here I am, I'm saying it.
Number 30 on your list, Eli Manning. What? I can't believe it. You get it off your chest, though. But you're right. I mean, the skill set's there, and obviously what we're going to see from the market next year with Jacoby Brissett will speak to that.
Yes.
He'll have offers.
Sure.
Out there
well, he might not get a chance to play again this year, too. So,
right.
We're
but
always going to have
see
the
what the
questions,
market is.
But we'll see where the market is. And, and listen, Chris Ballard comes out and makes comments like, I'm not going to trade him because he's gotten plenty of teams that have called to trade for him. So he's letting everybody know, hey, don't waste your time calling here giving me a third or a fourth-round pick. That's not happening.
This might be one of the rare bad Bill Belichick trades and moves, and not like they needed a quarterback everywhere. I mean, but they might not have maximized value.
Well, they had Garoppolo at the time.
They did. So they had
that's
three
what's weird,
of them.
right? They probably were like, man, this might be about as good as a deal we'll ever get for Jacoby
Brissett for the wide receiver, the former first-round pick, Philip
Brissett for Dorsett.
And it did. And in Dorsett, 32 passes last year. So that might be one of the rare situations where Bill Belichick didn't maximize value, but as you said, they had so many quarterbacks. What are you going to do? You can't play them all.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.